Hey guys, what's going on? Now, with Eliza's approaching release date, I mean, it's approaching. It's very close to Eliza being in the full game. They've already sent in the Eliza update to Sony and Microsoft to be approved of, so then once that's out, Eliza will be out on your PC, as well as 360 and PS3. So I'm giving that about 1 to 3 weeks until that is finally put in the game. But we need to talk. We need to talk about how Eliza will realistically affect Skullgirls. And yes, this will have a lot of my opinions in it, and yes, they aren't fully formed as you would think, but I have been garnering a ton of other opinions during my stream. Ever since Eliza was released, I've been asking people again and again and again during my streams, how do you feel about Eliza? What is Eliza to you? How do you feel Eliza will affect Skullgirls as a whole? And I've gotten answers from the casuals to Skull fans, which are basically people that don't play Skullgirls but love watching it, to competitive people, to tournament winners and such. I've gotten a lot of opinions from them, and a lot of them have become frequently similar near this time. And that similarity is that Eliza isn't all that hype anymore, and it's mostly is, when's Beowulf? Now, we're not going to talk about Beowulf and why there is so much hype around him. We're going to focus on Eliza and why this is. How does this non-hype for Eliza affect how she will affect Skullgirls? And how is this a good thing and how is this a bad thing? And what will it do? So let's start off. When Eliza is released, she will be used a lot, just like any new character. But I'm going to give a time frame for when I think a mass amount of Eliza users are probably going to dumb down a bit and start leaving her or picking up their own or going back to their regular characters, and you're not going to see an overabundance of Eliza players like you would at the beginning. And I give her about a month. I gave Big Ben and Squiggly about 2 months, and yeah, it was around 2 months where you stopped seeing them. And the reason why I'm giving Eliza about a month, which is 30 days, or maybe 31 days less than Big Ben and Squiggly, is because of that lack of hype, and there's many reasons for it. One reason is she was, and I said was, the most overpowered character Skullgirls has ever seen in the beta at one point. She was insanely overpowered to such a degree that she could one-touch kill a character 1v1. And that's an insane feat. She had the damage of Big Band behind her, the hitboxes of Parasol and Big Band combined, and it was just insane. The air movement of Valentine, she was overpowered, and Sekhmet. Sekhmet was just terribly overpowered at one point. But yes, she has gotten her nerfs, but why this one instance of her being super duper overpowered is a bad thing for her and lessens her time in the hypeness is because she's like Fuqua in retail. Now, retail Fuqua, which is basically the base Skullgirls game that everybody on consoles and just regular Skullgirls on PC play, retail Fuqua has been getting a lot, and I mean a lot of flack for being a pretty darn cheap character with really easy things to do to get insane amount of damage. And rightly so. I've been saying that she is pretty cheap, and there isn't too much that you can do to a Fuqua to really stop him if a Fuqua has the right assist and everything, especially if a Fuqua is insanely good as well. But let's not deviate from the topic. She has become the retail Fuqua right now. Retail Fuqua has been nerfed in beta, and hopefully that'll give Fuqua a little bit better of a publicity. Just as Eliza being nerfed will give Eliza a little bit better publicity. But her being overpowered at one point really just makes a lot of people dislike her. Everybody loves cheering for the underdogs. Whenever you see a solo Painwheel or a solo Peacock, everybody screams and shouts. Whenever you see a solo Fukua or a Fukua Big Band and Parasol, or a Fukua Big Band Double, or something, you know, insanely cheap on retail, not that many people are like, yeah, go Fukua. Not that many people did that for Eliza for a long time, and they're still not doing it because a lot of people still hold that Eliza is very good in the game. And, well, they're not wrong. Eliza is a very good character. There's nothing really that makes Eliza terrible in the game, and there's really nothing that makes her super duper overpowered anymore. There's nothing that really ruins Eliza to make her an underdog character. She is and is going to be a top tier character when she's released. Everybody will probably agree on that when she is released. Now, being top tier, not that many people will enjoy watching her. Not many people, while the low tier heroes, won't enjoy playing her. You will see her a lot in competitive play, or a good amount in competitive play if they feel like playing solos or doubles, which not that many people like doing with solos, but doubles, they might, in case they don't want to drop their already big bands and Cerebellas for doubles. Honestly, you might see her a good amount in competitive play, but you won't see her all too much. Casual play, Eliza will probably be pretty rare unless if you go around the tryhard. Eliza is a good character. She is. But there's one thing that she is, and that's boring. I've asked a lot of people about this, and don't get mad that I said that she's boring. Her aesthetics are great. She's an interesting character. She's a very interesting character aesthetically, and I'm glad that she was voted in just for her aesthetics alone. It's better than other characters that would have gotten voted in based on their aesthetics. But honestly, her playstyle is extremely boring, because it feels exactly like characters that you played before. If her air movement and her air momentum feel really like Valentine. Now, yes, her attacks aren't exactly like Valentine, but her heavy attacks like Valentine's heavy attack, maybe a slower one, albeit. But she can cancel all of her normals into her dashes, she can do just a bunch, and her dash is pretty much the exact same thing as Valentine's. A lot of it just feels like you've played her before. Her normals are big, and they are, you know, very slow. Like big bands mixed with Parasol, but mostly just Parasol, really. She feels like Parasol. Her assistants, you could basically rename them egrets, albeit they don't exactly act similar. But they're basically, you know, you have assistants, they're kind of like egrets. That was kind of Parasol's thing, to have assistants helping her out and fighting with her. Now, I know that you could say that George and, well, just George, I guess, because Peacock's cronies really only came in on our level 3, and that doesn't really count, guys. George kind of helped Peacock, but you can count him more as a projectile instead of an assistant, an actual character that has a line and actually has a, you know, story-related thing with Eliza. So you can really, it's pretty much egrets for Eliza. And not that many people are like, wow, this assistant thing is very, you know, unique. I like using the assistants because they're so unique. A lot of people have been saying that, yeah, she's eerily similar to Valentine and Parasol if you mash them together. And then we get into the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Now, this is important to note, and we're going to go into a little bit more detail into that later after we discuss one super important thing, why she has lost a lot of hype behind her. And that is, she did not get the mechanic that people voted her in for. Now, this isn't saying that, you know, the Skullgirls creator didn't want her to have the mechanic. They wanted her to have the mechanic that she was supposed to have. It's just the game's memory could not handle all the things happening at once at the screen with the mechanic. The mechanic being blood. Basically, she was supposed to control blood and fight with blood. Now, her normals do incorporate blood, which is a great way of trying to get back in that mechanic, but not in the way that you would think fighting with blood. Basically, and you can actually still see the videos up now, she was supposed to fight that if you punch her opponent or if she gets hurt, blood will splatter on the ground, and she can control that blood splatter and fight with it. And that was very interesting. A lot of people liked it. They even had a build of Skullgirls just to show off how this would work. And it was very cool, and a lot of people voted her in just for that alone. But when they couldn't get that unique factor that Eliza was supposed to have, that was supposed to make her unique, they instead went with something that a lot of people have been very mixed on. And me, I've been somewhat disappointed in it because of it's not fleshed out. And that's just saying that they went for a more JoJo's Bizarre Adventure kind of idea. And what I mean by that is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure has stands, correct? Basically, she has a stand, and her stand is Sekhmet. And I don't like Sekhmet, and a lot of people do not like Sekhmet because Sekhmet is not fleshed out at all, really. She has 3 normals, her standing normals, and then she has air normals. Just 3, that's it. That's all that she has, really. She's extremely good, granted, and when she was overpowered, she was overpoweredly good. That made a lot of people hate Sekhmet even more. But her not being as fleshed out as she was supposed to be, and her not getting the mechanic that people voted her in for, has really lost her a lot of hype that could have went into her, and especially near this close to release date, and I'm seeing such a lack of hype for her, such a lack of people actually screaming, "When's Eliza? I can't wait for Eliza," and more people screaming, "When's Beowulf?" It's not surprising to me at all that all these factors contribute to her lack of hypeness. Now, granted, if you do enjoy Eliza, you're going to see her a good amount in competitive play. If somebody's going to specialize in Eliza, you'll probably see them play either a solo Eliza or a duo with Eliza. And that's really if they specialize in Eliza. Eliza isn't that great when she is in a 3-team. A solo and duo is great, because then she has more health, and she can steal more health when she does her taunt. And speaking of her taunt, when she had a 50% lifesteal taunt, that also hurt a lot, and making a lot of people just feel unhyped for her. Her overpoweredness, mixed with her not getting the mechanic that she was supposed to get, really just made a lot of people not hype for her anymore. And a lot of people are looking at Beowulf and they're saying, you know what, this guy seems fun, this guy seems like, you know, he's going to get the thing that we voted him in for. He's going to get it, no doubt, and he's going to be the person that we actually voted in for. A lot of people are getting upset over Eliza because she turned out to be the character that you didn't vote for, even if you did. And in the end, I feel bad for people that really wanted Eliza to have her supposed playstyle. I feel bad for people that wanted a lot of people to love Eliza and enjoy Eliza and have Eliza be, you know, the next big band or the next Squiggly where everybody enjoys, you know, that character. A lot of people love Squiggly. They love her character. They love all this stuff. I still hear complaints about Eliza's voice. I still hear complaints about how it sounds a little bit too childlike at some times. I used to hear complaints about Big Band's voice, but I don't anymore because they altered that to be more robotic. And I even made a video talking about Big Band's voice and how they should alter it more, and they did. And it sounds great now. But with Eliza's voice, I really, you know, honestly for me, it's just okay. Her lines aren't anything special. The "yes, I'm rich" is just a meme that they just put in there. None of it really feels special to me, at least. And yes, we're going into my opinion. Eliza just doesn't seem all too special. And that might just be me, but I've been hearing a lot of people say that, yeah, Eliza, in the end, just doesn't feel as special as a lot of the other characters in the game, and they're probably not going to use her as much as they wish that they could because of that. So, you know, guys and gals, I was talking about Eliza a lot. We talked about a lot of issues that Eliza might have, and remember, this is all speculative. I have seen a lot of stuff in a lot of fighting games whenever it's released, so please remember, my opinion, this is a lot of my opinion and a lot of other people's opinions. It isn't just mine, it is a lot of other people's, and I'm making sure that if you do have a different opinion here, please tell me in the comments below, and, you know, tell me exactly why. Because opinions are just that. They are opinions. But granted together, having a ton of opinions and seeing a lot of other people have it, becomes less of an opinion and more of a general statement. Becomes less of an opinion and more of a statement. And I've been hearing a lot of statements that Eliza just isn't that hype anymore. And a lot more of saying, when's Beowulf? And when's Ms. Robo Fortune? So, in the end, Eliza doesn't have that much hype behind her, but there's really good reason why she doesn't have that hype behind her. So, if you guys did enjoy this video, and you do want to ask me or suggest me some new topics, please suggest that in the comments below. If you want me to play a specific team for the next episode of Skullgirls Online Battlers, tell me in the comments below. If you want me to, you know exactly how you feel, tell me in the comments below. If you have suggestions, anything at all. If you want to just talk to me outside of YouTube, follow me on Twitter. Watch my streams. I stream every night. And all that links are in the description below. So, thank you for listening me out all the way through. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and have a very